Live from the Multiversum Schwecken in the southeast of this classical city. And which of these two teams is going to compose victory in this grand old city? Well, it's a busy weekend of action across the European qualifiers. We begin here with Austria against Georgia. The two big hitters in the group, Germany and Serbia, face off later tonight. And here's how the group looks after their first window of games. Both Georgia and Austria looking for their first wins of World Cup qualifying. Georgia have been on the road, and they stay on the road as they go to Austria tonight. And this is a must-win clash for both. With the top three going through in the group phase to the second round of qualifying, these two know that it's likely between the two of them as to who will progress and who will depart qualifying at this stage. Germany and Serbia are strong teams, and that's no disrespect to either Austria or Georgia. Both would have prioritised this fixture as the one to win, both home and away. It is Austria that have home advantage tonight, and Georgia who look to ignite their campaign with victory. Well, the Georgians gave themselves plenty of hope both in Germany and in Serbia, running pretty close on both occasions. They lost by just 9 to the Germans and by less than 20 in a thriller against the Serbs. How will they fare tonight here in Vienna? Well, historically, they've done well against Austria. A 3-0 record, but they haven't faced them competitively in 11 years in total. And though there are 1 or 2 household names missing for the Georgians, for influence, look no further than Michael Dixon. So far, he has registered almost 30 points per game. And that was against Germany and Serbia. 6.5 assists to go with it as well. He is a force to be reckoned with in the backcourt for Ilias Souris's men.
Ladies and gentlemen, liebe Wasserfans von Team Österreich, begrüßen wir unser österreichisches Nationalteam.
Well, we'll turn our attention to the Austrians in front of a bumper home crowd here. They'll be looking to improve on their one-sided defeat to Germany here in November. But there's no doubt there's confidence in this talented team. They haven't qualified for a big event since the late 1970s, Austria, but right now they've got plenty of presence, particularly in the front court. Jakob Poeltl's spoken of his hope to play in the summer window, phase 3 if you like, of the World Cup qualifying, but in terms of influence on the court today, look no further than Rashid Mahalbasic. He's been playing in the Basketball Champions League with Oldenburg and has averaged more than 13 points per game and 7 boards as well, and he will look to dominate in the paint. Well, it's time for the national anthems to set the scene here in this World Cup qualifier. Austria against Georgia. all set to go after the rousing renditions of the national anthems. Well, Iliasaurus, the Greek coach of Georgia to the left there, is looking to continue the fine work of Igor Kokoskov, the Serbian who led Slovenia to the Eurobasket title last summer. Took Georgia to several Eurobaskets. They've come on a long way. Our referees tonight: Lorenzo Baldini of Italy, Ilias Kounelis of Cyprus, and Anastasios Peloidid of Greece. Well, the aptly named multiverse, as both teams look for liftoff in the group phase. Well, let's look at the two rosters. Right at the top, draw your attention to number 3, Michael Dixon Jr., who impressed at Eurobasket with nearly 14 points per game and over 5 assists as well. Even better so far in the qualifying campaign, 29.5 points per game. And those are away games in Germany and Serbia. Their starting 5: Dixon, Sinsadze, Bokalishvili, Valishvili, and at centre, Nicholas Skitishvili. I think the battle in the front court is going to be a fascinating one. As we turn our attention to the Austrian roster, number 24, 2 meters and 8 centimeters tall, Rashid Mahalbasic will make his presence felt, no doubt about that. He's a real handful in the paint. He helped Oldenburg to the last 16 of the Basketball Champions League with some trademark big hitting performances in the front court, and he leads on efficiency so far for the Austrians. And he starts alongside Murati, Orkunsipe, Kur, and Klepaj, who starts at point guard. And if Austria have the edge in the front court, well, it's Georgia that will surely look to dominate from the back. Dixon and Bokalishvili in particular will be the players that they will turn to for inspiration. And it's game day 3 of 6 in World Cup qualifying. And it is time for a win. That is what both coaches will be saying as Iliasaurus provides some last words of inspiration to his troops. It was an anomaly that Georgia are playing their first 3 games on the road. And then they have their last 3 at home at the Sports Palace in the capital, Tbilisi. Georgia will look take Germany to the cleaners on Sunday, but first they've got to concentrate on what is in front of them tonight. Austria, well, they ain't going to be laying out any red carpet. They'll be saying, "This is my house." If you want to catch up the latest news, check out the latest stats, watch highlights of all the action. The place to go is the Basketball World Cup app. There's a good number of travelling support from Georgia, and as you would expect with a musical city such as Vienna, we have got instruments aplenty amongst the home band of support. So many great composers down the years have come from this city and have taken residence in it. But which of these two is going to produce a classic performance and chalk up that first win of the World Cup qualifying? Well, Austria began life on the road in Serbia. Mahal Basic with 15 points. Thomas Schreiner came in with 11 points and 8 assists, and his influence in the black court could be crucial. We're all set. Well, welcome along to Vienna, Austria. It is game day 3 of World Cup qualifying. Both Austria and Georgia doing battle here, looking for their first win on the road to China. It's the Georgians in red, straight into the offensive half of the court. And they move it around nicely for the three-point shot, left short. Here's back out, chance again for 3. And Sinsadze it was who took the shot. Probably one of the anomalies of Georgia's performance so far is they've actually had more success from beyond the arc. 45% they are averaging from three-point distance. And just 40% from inside. And what that has to do with their reliance on Dixon, who's very good at shooting from range. Sinsadze to inbound. He's found Sikatishvili. Sinsadze gets up and puts it up in off the glass. First score of the night for Georgia. Klepaish. Briefly with Moratti, now back with the point guard. Cook. Mahal Basic, nice pass, gets in the paint, and the foul. Drawn by Sebastian Cook. Quite a lot of experience in the Austrian ranks. Cook at 30. Been around the block a little. Well, that'll settle the nerves. First score on the board. No question that the Austrians turned up for the occasion against Germany last time out. There was a big rivalry between the two neighbouring countries. The Germans proved just a little strong that time. Next time they face them, they'll hope to have like a Pirtle in the roster. Bokalishvili, that's a lovely pass. Just pulls up, shoots, and knocks it down, long 2. Georgia starts strongly here. A world ranking of 27. They will be the favourite to go through in that 3rd place. It's the Austrians who are world ranked 55 at present, but seem to be making good progress. Klepaish trying to find space. Cook for 3. It's in and out. But they get to the rebound nicely. It's not the best of shots, mind you, from Enis Moratti. And Georgia come away with it. Bit of a let-off for them. Sinsadze. Called for travelling, so a little bit of respite for the Austrians. Georgia have done so well in recent years. Progress under Igor Kokoshkov was nothing short of remarkable. Elias Zouras tasked with giving the Georgians further boost in their quest for a place in next year's World Cup. And that is an exciting thing to say. It is now next year officially. Starts at the end of August in China. Moratti to inbound. Finds Mahal Basic, the big man. Ogunsipe. Mahal Basic, his movement's good. Back to Ogunsipe, it'll go to work, and falling away, gets the shot off, but comes back off the rim. Georges Sinsadze come a long way with it. And back out, not much pressure on the shooter. But no luck for Sikatishvili, the veteran, at the age of 34. Klepaish. Ogunsipe now takes and comes in, but won't get much further. Well, it's a real busy day in World Cup qualifying across the world, really, but particularly in Europe. I mentioned that Germany and Serbia, the other two teams in Group G, they face off later tonight. Klepaiš, top of the mountain with Duvier. Mahal Basic hangs on to it and then goes on a one-man mission up to the bucket. But doesn't get the decision. Driving in here, Sadze. Just holding his ground, and he's called for an offensive. There is Ilias Zuras, such an experienced coach. He spells in France, Lebanon, Lithuania, Montenegro, Turkey, and his native Greece. And enjoying his time with the Georgians. There's a change in the coaching setup for Austria ahead of the World Cup campaign. With Matthias Zollner coming in, contracted till the end of this summer. Not a long-term contract. He stepped in for the Lithuanian Kęstutis Kumzura, who couldn't get a clearance with his team in Turkey to manage the national side of Austria. Great pass. Now driving up the baseline. There's no finish on this occasion, and it's been a low-scoring start so far. Georgia up by 3. Yeah, one of the areas that Austria simply have to iron out if they're going to start winning games in this group is got to be the issue of turnovers. They recorded 47 turnovers in their first 2 games in the November window, which the coach identified as being far, far too high. Mahal Basic, he's so important for them. Again, his movement just being tracked so well by Georgia's defense. Maybe Austria need to come up with a different plan. They're just rolling it into open space, and it didn't quite work. Sadze goes past him, lovely pass, and put down with a dunk. And Georgia here are starting to go through the gears. Schreiner, he's on now. I'm surprised not to see him in the starting 5, to be honest. He's so influential. More on that in a moment, as the foul is called. Michael Dixon drawing it. Yes, the interesting thought process behind the point guard might be that Klepaiš was actually a player in Zollner, the coach's roster at Güssing Knights, an Austrian team. They know each other very well. There is young Matthias Zollner. I say young, I mean 36 is pretty young on coaching standards on the European international scene. The travelling band of support are getting very excited by what they're seeing so far. Georgia put in some promising shows in Serbia and Germany. They're up by 6. Not yet midway through the first quarter. This is Klepaiš, being watched carefully by 2. Now Duvier. Schreiner into Mahal Basic. He goes to work at the low post. Oh, nice from Schreiner. Good quick pass. And they do put the shot up. They're not getting much success at the moment. Nobody's made a field goal, but surely they will now. Yeah, laid up and in by Klepaiš. And Austria reduce the arrears to 4. Well, a bit of a brain fade, I think, that by Dixon. Not on the same wavelength as his teammate there. And the pass caught them out. Maybe just getting a little bit overconfident after a bright start, the Georgians. We've are up to 4 fouls. Any further fouls, they'll send Austria to the line. Good work by Sadze, who's been influential so far. From the corner, the missed shot. And Klepaiš gets it out, 2-on-1 here. Another chance here, Moratti puts it up, and it's finished off. This time by Duvier. This is more like it. Austria can settle down a little now. Sinsatse, couple of points, couple of rebounds and an assist so far. Been at the heart of everything. Assist back out. Here he is, Sinsatse for three. I think that was a shot clock violation. Maybe not. Maybe just got the shot off in time, but there is a turnover now. Well, really pleased the coach, getting some fast break points. Making Georgia pay for mistakes they're making. The chance here, possibly to level or take the lead for the first time now. Puts up the one-handed jumper. Kept in. It was, but possession changed over. Dixon. Oh, what a block by Duvier. Brilliant from him. And now Schreiner. Here come Austria in transition. Set up the three-point shot, maybe. No, Duvier comes in on the runway, but misses the shot again. And Austria so far making only about 25% of shots so far. Sinsatse puts the pass into the hands of Bitadze. He's just come off the bench and immediately makes an impact. Bitadze, Berilishvili and Patsatsia all coming on for Georgia. In case you missed it, Schreiner for three. Nobody's made a shot from downtown yet. Now Dixon. He's quick and he sets up the shot wide open, but no good from Patsatsia. Really lively start here. Two teams who know the importance of the occasion. Schreiner puts it up, but can't knock it down. Dixon goes to the floor. Wants it cool, doesn't get it. Here's Dixon, Schreiner for company. Dixon puts it up to the top of the mountain. Austrians are happy to let him take the shot. In fact, they give the space and they're punished. Bitadze with a big put down. And Georgia's lead is up to 6 again. It won't quite be the alarm bells that are ringing, but there'll be a bit of a warning light on. Here's Duvier. And the dribble pull-up misses the shot, and Dixon to the rebound. Dixon with the early shot, fouled. He's going to go to the free throw line for three. And that could be a costly mistake, and Georgia have a chance to increase their lead up to 9. Well, Austria have called timeout after some thought. There's a little conversation going on. But now they can have it as an entire roster with the coach leading things. Well, it gives us a chance to have an early look at the statistics. Austria at the moment being out-rebounded by 9 to 15. See if we can listen.
Immediately, Misha here, pick and roll, go inside and play. After, hey, simple fist. Player here, and you play 2-3 times pick and roll, man, up here.
I talked a little bit about rebounds there. Look at that Skitishvili already with 5 rebounds, and we're still in the first quarter here. It's quite rare, though, for an entire quarter to go past without a single three-point shot being made, but that is where we're at the moment, with Georgia 0 from 7 and Austria 0 from 5 from downtown. Slightly reserved faces on the amongst the Georgian support, but they should be happy. They lead by 6. So far, particularly their defense has been impressive. They've given Austria the shots they want, and they've really stopped Mahal Basic, who's taking a break on the bench at the moment. He restarts with Dixon with 3 free throws to make use of. Sadse's gone out of the game. Bokalishvili has come in instead. Bokalishvili, who was part of Georgia's ultimately unsuccessful Eurobasket campaign, but they fared pretty well in general. They win twice. Finished at 17th overall. So no mistake from Dixon. He makes all 3 from the charity stripe. Here's Schreiner, long 2 attempted, but again, nothing will go in. Schreiner. Austria really struggle. They're shooting so far. Rados. He and Duvier trying to combine, but it couldn't quite work now. Dixon. Vanek for company. Everybody hanging out on the left. Dixon goes for the shot himself and drains it. It's the first 3-point shot of success in the game so far, and Georgia's lead is now double digits. And maybe now the warning light has gone to alarm bells. Duvier comes in, shoots from the lane, misses the shot but gets the foul. That pleases the Austrian bench. Or was it the Georgian bench? No, I beg your pardon. Nothing going the way of Austria at the moment. Into the last minute of the first quarter. Bokalishvili to Dixon. A little bit fortunate there. Ball rolled out of his hands at first, came back. A nice, simple finish from Berishvili, who opens his account for the night. What a start this is for Georgia now. Schreiner. Austria, do they have any kind of reply? Oh, what a block that was from Bitadze. Not in my house, he says. Huge rejection. Well, this first quarter has basically gone as the Georgian coach Ilias Zouras must have dreamed it last night. It's all gone according to plan. Do Austria have some kind of reply in the last 30 seconds? Danek. Schreiner. Now Novas Mateo. They've got to get the shot off. Only a second left, and the delay was too long. And it's another violation and another turnover. A shrug of the shoulders from Matthias Zellner. So the time left in the quarter is irrelevant. There's 6 seconds left here for a shot. Dixon out the back door, sets it up for a 3. The shot missed, and that will conclude a fascinating first quarter, which has gone the way of Georgia. Ilias Zouras will be delighted. Austria 5. Georgia 19. Well, look at the three-point shooting so far. It's there's room for improvement, I think it's fair to say. Let's say that for diplomatic purposes. Georgia have been the much better side so far. The game going according to world ranking. Austria, they did struggle here at home against Germany. But again, they are finding life difficult. The shooting was down at 35.6% in their last game. And they were completely out-rebounded too. Here's the some of the highlights of the first quarter. The players getting ready to take to the court. And they have been out-rebounded so far by 16-12. And Nicholas Skitishvili in particular has been highly influential. We thought Michael Dixon might have another fruitful night in terms of accumulating points. He's averaging just shy of 30 a game in the World Cup qualifiers so far, and he's got 7, and he's the game-high leader so far. And of course, 7 points personally is more than the entire Austrian team has managed so far. Dixon's shooting has really stood out. As we get back underway for the second quarter. Sebastian Krug is coming back in for Austria. Just changing up, there are 5 on the court in hope of finding the winning formula. Duvier rims out. Mahal Basic back on. He'll be hunting out a little bit more space than he was getting first. He was well played, in fairness to the Georgians. He knew he would be the influential one to watch. Puts up the pass. I think that was the attempt at the alley-oop, but Bitadze wasn't quite on the same radar. And Mahal Basic denied, but there's a foul in there. Well, it was goaltending for what it was called in the end. There you have it. Because there was a foul, the chance of making it a 3-point play here. So it'll be of relief for Mahal Basic, his first points. But he can't add the free throw, but the rebound's been grabbed. And then the foul. Austria needed a good start in the second quarter. And they are threatening to get just that. Bitadze called for the foul. Bryce Duvier at the line. Balls from the coach. Shot for 3. Rebounding worker Bitadze, a joy to watch. I mean, that's the thing. Austria a little undersized. Georgia capitalising. Bitadze just wants it more at the moment, but he didn't get it that time. Duvier beat him to it. He's an enormous man. Mahal Basic, long 2. The shooting has been blunt so far from Austria. They've got to sort it out, or they'll find themselves trailing by too much at half-time. This is Sintadze. Chance for a 3-point shot. Oh, and it's all net. Sintadze for Georgia. It was his pass, and it was Berishvili. Mikhail Berishvili of Dynamo Tbilisi. Flirted with the NBA draft earlier in his career, Berishvili. Now stamping his authority as an important member of this Georgian roster. Georgia's lead back up to 15 points, the highest it's been now. Mahal Basic. Again, another loose use of possession there. Ogunsipe couldn't get to it, and another Austrian turnover. And Georgia will look to turn it into points. Patsatsia. Sintadze. Shot clock into the last 5 seconds. He had to get the shot away. He did, and Sintadze nails it. And Georgia are moving further and further clear now, leaving Austria trailing in their wake. Mahal Basic. No room to manoeuvre. What a pass! And Sipe puts it down with a little attitude. Great vision for the pass that from Rashid Mahal Basic. He is a big man who knows how to pass, and he showed that there. Here's Sintadze. And again Mahal Basic, this time in defense with the steal. And then the foul from Patsatsia, stopping the Austrian counter. Well, a good couple of minutes for Rashid Mahal Basic, who had a very quiet first quarter, albeit by his high standards. He knows he's got big boots to fill. He'll look to play in partnership with Jakob Poeltl if Poeltl can play in the summer window. So the expectation is that he will. Certainly he hopes he can. And the pass goes out. Sipe didn't want it at that speed. A little over-enthusiastic, I reckon, by Enis Murati. And quite a height as well. Sintadze. Here he is again. He always seems to find that pass. And now Skitishvili knocks it down. Georgia having a party in the paint. It's the one area I thought Austria would be able to really ensure that Georgia struggled in the low post with Mahal Basic's presence. But by and large, Georgia have enjoyed dominance in the front court. Well, next up for Georgia, a home game at last, after being on the road in Chemnitz and Belgrade. And here in Vienna. Next up, it's Tbilisi, and the Sports Palace there, I'm sure, will be rocking. Basketball's been growing hugely in Georgia with the recent success of the national team. Really, the two countries in very different places in terms of the quality of their side. Austria had a fantastic team midway through the 20th century. Peaked in the 1950s, but they are starting to show their capability again and producing some great basketballs. Well, not the sight that Austria wanted, I'm sure. Michael Dixon back in after playing the entirety of the first quarter. He's had 3.5 minutes out on the bench to catch his breath. Skitishvili, and now Dixon. The passing is smooth and crisp from Georgia. And the running jumper put up but missed on this occasion by Patsatsia, and better defense from Austria. They have turned it over. Mahal Basic. Oh, well, he came up with a behind-the-back pass, which was always going to be ambitious. Check this out. He just was short of options. Possession stays with Austria after Patsatsia slapped the ball out. In comes Anatoly Boysa for the Georgians. First time we've seen him on the court today. Plays with a team called Cactus. And I'm sure he's not a prickly character himself. Well, it's certainly been a better second quarter so far from Austria. They knew they couldn't repeat the first quarter and stand a chance of putting themselves in a winning position for the second half. Austria 14, Georgia 28. More than 5.5 minutes still off this second quarter. Here's Dixon. Trying to compete a little more on the boards, Austria as well. Brice Duvier, 7 rebounds in total. That's one of the most in the game. 16 rebounds for Austria, 5 of them offensive, 19 for Georgia. Finished off, just laid up and in, nice and easy. Finger roll from Zvalishvili, doubles his tally for the night. He's up to 4 points. Georgia's lead is up to 16. Here's Klepaish. Tries his luck from downtown, but misses all but the glass. Dixon. Real picture of composure. Never looks like he's in a hurry. Dixon throws it up himself and knocks it down from the desert. Austria are being punished now from all over the court. Before it was in the paint, now it's from all parts of the multiversum Schweikert. And we have a timeout called as Austria badly need to regroup again.
Der Mann vom Einser rennt immer sofort hier. Der Dreier kommt runter, so machen. Der muss bereit sein. Entweder Platz, 4 hier, 3 hier, 2 hier. Shooter. Ja? Und dann, wenn 1 kackt, ist drauf.
You exchange position, running, no screen. No screen. 4 comes, you go high, skita. 4, pick and roll, and skita out. Try immediately, pass here, deflecting pass. Dima, go the other side and play pick and roll to the side.
The Jordans look very well organised and extremely motivated. And that's a pretty deadly combination. And you are lining up into their opponents. When Austria haven't made a 3-point shot, they could go a whole half without it if they're not careful. Here's Schreiner. Oh dear. Well, it's, I'm afraid, just about summing up Austria at the moment. Straight after the timeout, you want to set the tone. Rather than give away an absurd backcourt violation. And momentum stays with Georgia. They're in possession. Here's Skitishvili into the hands of the magician, Michael Dixon Jr. 6'1", I think he's the smallest man on the court, but he's having a massive influence. Not for the first time. Collision course, Marati into Zvalishvili. First time Georgia have had a 20-point lead in this game. It's the face of a satisfied coach, that, Ilias Zuras. Schreiner, Ogunsipe. Again, the offensive move breaks down. Skitishvili, Boycho H in the corner. Skitishvili gets past his man, can't quite finish. And Austria play their way out. Schreiner, space here. Klepaish for 3. Good at last. Austria make a shot from beyond the arc. They could do with a couple more in quick succession here to eat into Georgia's substantial lead. And that's more like it. Another foul. A little bit sloppy from Georgia. Well, they need him to go on a bit of a roll. Thomas Klepaish. Now plays for Braunschweig in Germany, but he played for the Güssing Knights under Matthias Zollner in Austria. Drives on the runway and gets up Schreiner, drawing the foul. This is better from Austria. Just saw the gap. On a one-man mission. Yeah, both made, and it's a 5-0 run for Austria, their best in the game so far. Great to see such a variety of ages amongst the fans, the next generation of Austrian basketball supporters and maybe players can draw inspiration. Great to have basketball in their own backyard. Part of the "This Is My House" campaign. Here's Dixon. Trying to use the glass, but misses the shot. Schreiner's there. Duvier, in fact. And here he goes. Mahal Basic. Kicks out. Schreiner for three. They've cut the lead back down from 21 to 16, but it needs to come a little further, you feel, before half-time. Dixon for three from miles out. It might work out all right. It's almost worked like an assist. Boyce is there to tidy up. That's a great pass. Oh, wonderful. Kleppich with the finish, but that was all about the assist. He flung it the entirety of the court. It was Schreiner with the pass, by the way, just to clarify. As Kleppich finds the pass this time, and it's knocked down. And this is a bit of a comeback now. Austria making inroads into Georgia's lead, cutting it back down to size. That was the pass for the finish. Schreiner to Kleppich. And momentum is at long last with the home team. Timeout called by Georgia. Let's see if we can hear from Ilias Zuras.
We were up 20 points, and we shoot in 2 seconds what they do. We shoot in 2 seconds they go. But control the tempo of the game. We are up, we are not down. We are up!
Hey, Bryce, you're on top cut. Whoever is on top cut. Wir müssen Rashi helfen, dass die einfache Festspiel kann.
Austria dominating with transition basketball at the moment. 16 of their 23 points have come on the fast break. And I think that was something that Ilias Zuras was keen to point out, that they need to play streetwise basketball. Need to wise up. They've got a bit of an injury here by the looks of things. I think that was Bitadze. We'll try and clarify. In the meantime, action back underway. Just over 2 minutes left of the second quarter. Here's Dixon, the highest scorer in the game. He's the only one double digits, 10 points so far. And he draws the foul from Mahal Basic. One player they definitely don't want to have foul out of the game. It's his second personal foul.
Zweites persönliches Foul, second personal foul number 52, 15 from Team Austria, 2 shots, Georgia.
Zuma watching on. It's his side to carry on. They've really started to show character. They lost the first quarter 19-5. So far, the second quarter is all square at 18 points each in total. Georgia about to mix things up. Berishvili. So far, only shooting at 50%. Murati. Schreiner for three. All net from Thomas Schreiner. Found his accuracy, whether it's with passing or shooting. And Austria back to within 12, and it's game on here in Vienna. Just what the home team needed. And the fans responding. Dixon pulls up, shoots and fires and scores. Good response. Mahel Basic, top of the mountain. Klepaisch goes out to Schreiner. Those two are the most likely to take three-point shot. Klepaisch with a little bit of space. Knocks down another one. Into the last minute of the half. And Austria at the moment on fire, and Georgia at the moment playing for the half-time interval. Dixon. Shot clock down to just 3 seconds here. Dixon's got to use it, and he's blocked off brilliantly. This time by Murati. Here's Schreiner. Austria in a hurry. Mahel Basic finishes, and the lead is in single digits. Who saw this coming? Midway through this quarter, Georgia had a lead of 21. It's now just 9. And Georgia have called time out again. Thomas Klepaisch shooting 80% from the field, 12 points now.
Vika is not ready, and they have one player behind. Now, this one player doesn't help. Stand position from here and the last inside. You understand what I mean? Vika all. We play right. Hey, last player is here. The other stand. This player is covering the shot. You understand?
Try to attack. Come back, either one, okay? No. One stop. 29 seconds. One stop. Let's go. Stop.
Well, we thought Mahel Basic would really compete on rebounds, but it's Bryce Duvier who so far has mustered up an impressive 8. Klepaisch leading on the scoring, Schreiner on assists. At the moment, he seems the key man, Thomas Schreiner. His creativity. Let's see how the last 30 seconds go. Georgia will take their time and restrict Austria's time in response. No hurry to take the shot. Here's Dixon. The shot clock now at 10. About a 5-second differential between time left in the quarter and the shot clock. They've got to use it here, Georgia. And they do finally get the shot off. They miss it, and Austria's still got 4 or 5 seconds here. Murati puts up the shot, and they can't quite finish with a flourish. But no doubt about it, Austria are back in the game after an untidy first quarter and a half. They have shown great character to come back from 21 points down to trail by just 9 at the halfway stage. It's Austria 31, Georgia 40. Well, with only a couple of minutes remaining, Austria hadn't made a three-point shot. They made 3 in quick succession. They have Thomas Schreiner and Thomas Klepaisch to thank for that. 8 turnovers in the end, much more manageable. They've been averaging well over 20 per game so far. Georgia with just 5 as well. Both teams have been a little tidier on offense. Not throwing possession away. Well, both teams know this is a huge game in the context of Group G. With Germany and Serbia, the other two sides in Group G, currently dominating with unbeaten records. These two looking to chalk up their first win. We knew it would be a good game after the first quarter, it didn't look like being a close one, but it's all changed in the last few minutes with Austria responding in their home court. After a slow start, Georgia exploded into action. Some fabulous shooting form from the likes of Dvalishvili, who knocked down a couple of early ones, and Dixon. Pristuvier's had a good half actually for Austria. Been one consistent through it with 8 rebounds. But some of Dixon's shooting, just an absolute joy to behold. So far, he's 50% from the field, but he's 67 from outside. And the deep. Rashid Mahal-Basic, we said beforehand, would look to be the #1 man for Austria, but his influence didn't really get started until midway through the second quarter. Quite quiet from him, despite recent good form at club level with FIBA Basketball Oldenburg. And Georgia just started in robot mode, really. They didn't look like they had any nerves whatsoever. And they played some outstanding basketball, they really did. And even at the halfway stage, they're comfortably up at 9 points clear, with a shooting percentage from inside of 53%. Contrast that with 39%. It's pretty significant, the gap between the two there. But they're pretty close in other respects and other disciplines. On rebounds, there's only 2 in it now. Turnovers fairly close. Steals, Austria actually ahead on steals, thanks to Thomas Kleppeich, who's got 2 himself. And he has been the man for the Austrians. The Georgians, though, well, they're celebrating. Well, they were celebrating at the end of the first quarter, but by and large, they've taken a number of fans over here to Vienna. Or maybe they live locally, who knows, but they've enjoyed their night so far. But will they close out the win, or will Austria complete the comeback? They've come from 21 points down to just 9 at the halfway stage. I'll leave you with the remaining highlights of these first 2 quarters. But don't go too far. We'll bring you quarters 3 and 4 in a few minutes' time. The halftime score is Austria 31, Georgia 40.
Thomas Schreiner. Thomas Schreiner. Das Ende der ersten Halbzeit im Spiel ist. Das Ende der ersten Halbzeit im Spiel.
Welcome back then to the Multiversum Schwecke in Vienna, Austria for this FIBA Basketball World Cup qualifier. Austria and Georgia doing battle here, looking for their first win of the qualifying campaign, and it's a tight game at the end at half-time, or relatively. Georgia were 21 points clear midway through that second quarter before being reeled back in by the Austrians. And as you can see at the top of your screen there, the scoreboard is, well, reading a 9-point deficit now. Austria 31, Georgia 40. A thoroughly entertaining game, this one. I thought it might be quite one-sided after Georgia got off to a flying start, but Austria have drawn deep on their reserves of spirit and character and, well, shooting quality as well. Suddenly up the ante. They couldn't hit a three from anywhere. And now suddenly they're hitting them from all parts. Well, they were before half-time came, and it's quite possible that half-time came at exactly the right time from the Georgian perspective. It's given them an opportunity to regroup after a tough few minutes. And Austria will have to try and pick up from where they left off at the end of the second quarter. Let's talk about the key men. Thomas Kleppheich and Thomas Schreiner, I reckon, for Austria have been the main men. Schreiner with 5 points only, but 4 assists. And Kleppheich, he's shot 80% from the field so far and is on 12 points in total. For Georgia, well, we thought Michael Dixon Jr. would be important, and it's turned out that he has. 12 points for him so far. 6 rebounds for Nicolas Skitishvili. He's been in a little battle with Bryce Duvier, and it's been very interesting. Let's just have a little listen to Ilias Zouras, the coach of Georgia.
Now spacing, flare or not flare, read what you can do. Now, you have to understand, the most important is defense. That's why we put 3, first of all, small players behind. Rebound, everybody. Merab might go to the board. Everybody to the board. 51. I repeat, 1, 2 times. After we can all get it down for mine. Tiger, you go, they come and they get. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
They're sitting in that motivation. Georgia, proud country, and now with a proud basketball reputation to uphold. With their recent qualifications for Eurobasket, qualified for the last 4, 2011 onwards, finished 11th in that first edition they qualified for. Now looking to the World Cup to qualify for the first time. Both these two, though, need to win this game for the same reason. So rubber stamp their first win. 3 teams go through from each group of 4. As 32 are reduced to 24 for the second phase of qualifying. And then 12 European teams will be at the 2019 World Cup. It's Georgia in red, just as a reminder. Austria in white. Austria will look to continue the comeback. And Georgian coach Ilias Zouras just talking there about the importance of defense. He said that's where this game will be won. And the high attempted a pass isn't quite taken hold of by Sebastian Court. And here's Dixon. He's the player who seems to think with a clearer head than anybody else. Dixon for 3, and what a start to the second half for Georgia. 15 points now for Dixon. Is he going to maintain his ridiculously high scoring standards? 29.5 before today. Here's Ogun Sipe, and he was fouled at the low post.
Number 18.
Georgia a man down. And it's their captain, Anatoly Boyso, I believe, who is not going to play a further part. We saw him icing his knee earlier in the game. Explains why he's only played 3 minutes. Ogun Sipe now to Mahal Basic. Not much space. Now there is for Kleppheich for 3 to carry on from where he left off. And Thomas Kleppheich drains yet another 3. The sharp shooter in this Austrian team, piercing through the Georgian lead. Dixon. Berishvili for company. Doesn't need it. Kicks out instead for Patsatsia, who sees his shot go in and out. Klepaic now with the pass. Mahal Basic darting in, and Ogun Sipe rolls it in for 2 more. And Austria have cut the lead back down to 7. And momentum very much remains on their side. Well, folks, we've got a real game on our hands here in Group G in Basketball World Cup qualifying. Austria know it'll take something special to beat either Germany or Serbia. And so they've got to target these games against Georgia. It's not necessarily be impossible to come away with victory against Ireland, but it would be unlikely. Here's Ogun Sipe with the pass into Mahal Basic, who will go to work under the rack. Instead, he'll play the pass. Klepaic. And then look at the space here. It is, and it was, Cook trying his luck from the corner, but he misses. Dixon. Patsatsia to the left. Pick and roll. And here he is now. Patsatsia has time to set himself. Fires the shot in and makes it count. And Georgia increased their lead back up to the double digits again. It's a fascinating start to the third quarter. Both teams are going to set the tone. Mahal Basic misses a simple one, and that sums up what for him has been a tough night so far. Dixon. You can't help but think Austria need Mahal Basic to fire in this second half if they're going to turn it around and win it. And they don't need that, that's for sure. Georgia drain the 3. Skitishvili knocking one down, and he's got a real chance of a double-double now. 9 points and 7 rebounds. That's good in response. Klepaic again, he just cannot miss right now. 4 from 5 from beyond the arc. And 86% in total from the field. It's been an absolute lesson to Georgia in how to shoot threes. Puts up one, tough shot, and the shot clock down to its dregs though. It had to go for it. Now Klepaic, he's taken another early 3. Austria going to make another change. Schreiner's coming back in here. Sebastian Cook, the man to go to the bench, as they just work on resetting the clock. And Georgia also taking this moment to make a change. Skitishvili off. And Gorgat Bitadze comes on. Maratti to inbound here for Austria. And we're looking to return the lead back down to a more manageable single-digit figure. Calls for Schreiner. Bit of a decoy, I think. Klepaic with the pass. Ogun Sipe didn't exactly want it there. Comes back to Klepaic. And finally does miss a 3-point shot, but here's Ogun Sipe and Schreiner. Shot clock up to 10. Schreiner gets in the lane now with the pass, and the dribble pull up from Maratti knocks it down. Certainly the Austria of quarters 2 and 3 are an entirely different outfit and prospect to the one we saw in the first quarter. It took a long time to get going in this one. Bitadze. The question is, will they pay a very high price for that slow start? Schreiner. Mahal Basic. They were teasing him there. They wanted him to take the shot on. Instead, he comes in. Always tough to make a shot underarm. To the corner. And this for 3. It's just long. Ogun Sipe with a rebound. Ogun Sipe, early shot. Took it on, brave. He's not been scoring from range so far. It's been all about Schreiner and particularly about Klepaic, the 2 Thomases. Don't doubt them. Patsatsia. With Schreiner for company. Screen set. Here he comes. And that's nice. Tidy work from Patsatsia, but quickly moved to the front court. That's really good from Austria, but that will appall the Georgian coach, Ilias Zouras, that they allowed that pass to be played. But that's what Schreiner can do. And that is what Boca literally can do. It's his first score of the night. He missed his first 5 from the field. It's been a lively third quarter. Great lines of running there. He found a gap. And then that was the pass from Schreiner. Second time he's made an assist of that nature. But Austria have called the timeout. Let's see what Matthias Zulner has to say.
Right, facing in the corner, facing in the corner. If German goes to help, you gotta cut.
Ja. Das Burschen, wir können nicht nach jedem Korb, den wir bekommen, 3 Sekunden Pause machen. Einwerfen und nach vorne. Genau.
Hey, help side, normal out!
People the ball down, go for screen from the top and open. Be ready.
Well, interesting stat there again. Austria have scored 22 points from the fast break. That's more than half of all their points. And it's something that Ilias Zouras, I know, is trying to stop. He knows it's a fruitful way for them to score quick points. Here's Danek. Schreiner. Creative hub, again finds a pass. No look pass, and Duvier sweeps home another 3. And cuts the lead back down to single digits again. Georgia are becoming slightly more fragile. They looked untouchable at times in the first half. That's exactly why they've been the team that have been reaching Euro baskets almost at will. The question is what the limit is really for Georgia at the moment. Igor Kokoshkov took them a long way during his tenure as coach. And Ilias Zouras looking for a first World Cup appearance. Good block, or attempted what? Did enough. Austria have sorted out their defense. Danek, what about going all the way? Now Duvier. Shot clock goes to single digits now. Schreiner. Out to Cook. Cook steadies himself, shoots for 3 and drains it. And the lead is just 6. What a comeback from the home team. And there's no question about it, the crowd are starting to believe. The noise deafening inside the multiverse. Pass to the corner is a nice one from Dixon. He just find passes that other players could only dream of at times. This was a foul. There's Danek. Smallest player on the court, just under 6 foot. Benedikt Danek. Bokalishvili. He misses, and Austria might have a chance to cut the lead even further. Just 2 minutes left of this quarter. Rados stuck for options. Schreiner. Danek, he doesn't want to take the shot on. And now Duvier goes to work. Rados trying to claim it should have been Austria's possession, but it's not. Actually getting quite a lot of success when Mahal Basic is off the court at the moment. Duvier has really stepped up. We're looking to get Radoš going as well.
Noch ein Wechsel bei den Gästen. Auf Spielfeld mit Nummer 6, Anatoly Boyce, der Kapitän, zurück im Spielfeld.
Boyce. Patsatsya. Dixon for three, the high score in the game. Not this time. Plays his club basketball in Turkey with Cheshire here, Koleci. Ilias looking more and more agitated. Dixon puts the pass into Boyce, and he's lost it, turned over here, and Austria come through Schreiner. Duvier for three. Danek can't quite recycle it. It's going to go out of bounds, and Georgia have a turnover of their own, but there's a warm applause, not just from the crowd, but from the coach as well, who's delighted with what he's seen. Pressure, well, it's telling. You can see it on the face of the Georgians, and in little mistakes like that, gives it away. And they're starting to feel it. Dixon. It's a huge game, this one. Massive ramifications for the qualifying campaign. The options here. He's looking to find Patsatsya, and he does. Shot clock, though, reached just at 3 seconds here. Patsatsya pulls up and shoots. He sees it come back off the iron. Schreiner combines with Danek to bring it out of the backcourt. Duvier fakes, comes in. No good this time. Last few seconds then. And a 7-second differential between shot clock and time left in the quarter. Who's that come off last? It's off Danek. So Georgia maintain possession, and that changes the differential to just 4 seconds. We'll be in no hurry then. Patsatsya. Up to the wing, initially, a foul given. Only trying his second foul overall. Nobody in particular foul trouble. It's Varlishvili for Georgia. Has the most fouls next to his name on 3, as does Rashid Mahal Basic. Timeout called with just seconds remaining. There we go. Timeout called by Ilias Zuras. An opportunity to talk through the play they're going to try and master.
Mike, out of bounds. 4, 5, call it. Zip 1, we call. Down, wait. Dima, wait. Full screen. Give the nice strong. Back. Back.
No shot, but foul him if he wants to go by. Okay? No shot. No shot for Dixon. Okay? Thomas, hey, they play with this down screen here. Have help, guys. There's no Lopez. Okay?
What a nice pivot, Thomas Klepash. 20 points and counting. Shooting just under 80% from the field. 4 3-pointers. 20 points out of a tally of 49 in total. No shot, you heard, from the coach. Thomas Zollner trying to stop Georgia from increasing their lead right at the end of the third quarter, which is where the coaches earn their money. It's intensely tactical. They inbound then, Patsatsya. Just seconds remaining. And they get nothing out of it. So Austria close out the third quarter strongly. That's 2 quarters they put together now, in which they have decreased Georgia's lead. They led by 14 at the end of the first quarter, then by 9, and now by just 6. After 3 quarters, it's Austria 49, Georgia 55. And it's all set up beautifully for a final showdown in the fourth quarter. We certainly are ready for more, that's for sure. Next up on the cards for Austria and Georgia. Well, Georgia play host to Germany. It's their first home game of World Cup qualifying at the Sports Palace in their capital city, Tbilisi. That should be very interesting indeed. That's coming up Sunday night. And Austria, well, they stay here at the Multiversum Schwechat, hosting Serbia here in Vienna. Their last 2 games will be on the road in the June and July window. You see some of the highlights plays from this game so far, but we're all looking forward with great anticipation to the last 10 minutes now. A 6-point game here. Austria 49, Georgia 55. And it's been such a spirited fight back from the Austrians. They've given themselves real hope of victory. They've not beaten Georgia before competitively. They've lost on the last 3 occasions. I mentioned before, though, this is their first meeting in 11 years, and Georgia have become, well, a lot better, quite frankly, during the last decade. Made an incredible progress under Kokoskov, their previous coach, and they're continuing it now with Ilias Souros. That combination, Schreiner's been notching up the assists. 8 in total is pretty remarkable. His 8 assists is almost as many as the entire Georgia team on assists so far. Austria with 17, Georgia with just 10. So here we go, the fourth quarter underway. Schreiner into Mahal Basic. The cut was made by Moratti, who gets the shot from the wing. Oh, what a grab that is from Duvier. Unfortunately, been penalised, but real effort there, just wanted it. Patsatia. Can Georgia close out the victory? They've seen their lead cut down from 14 to 9, and then from 9 to 6 in the last 2 quarters. And they hang on in there. Dixon throws it up. Mahal Basic with a strong defense. He's been the better end of the court for him so far. Mahal Basic wants it. He's waiting in so much open space, but Duvier doesn't choose that option.
Number 6. Second person fouled Oysa. First team fouled Georgia.
Is this going to be a nail biter? Really has the markings of one. We are in the classical city, and these two are serving up a bit of a classic. 3 seconds left on the clock. Schreiner puts up a Hail Mary, frankly. And he gets nothing for it, but Georgia's sloppy again. Have lost it. Certainly haven't been at their best, have they? Since the first quarter. Duvier. Austria's stepping into their stride here on their home court. Schreiner. Moratti, good pass. Mahal Basic knocks it down. He sits the quarter where he really shows what he's made of. 6 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds so far for the Oldenburg front man. Dixon throws it up. Oh, nothing but net. And the lead was just 4, but it's back up to 7. Dixon has 18 points, and he's closing in now on Klepajs. Mahal Basic repeats the feat. Back-to-back scores from him. It's game on here in Vienna. Pat Satsia. Dixon. To the corner. Schreiner looking to make the block on Boyset. The shot clock down to its dregs. I think Croatia have had a sportsmanlike foul here. I'm not sure it's given. In the end, it was travelling. Was the issue. Well, out of bounds, I think. Just to clarify. Anyway, 5 points the difference. Mahal Basic, who's suddenly come to the party. Called for an offensive foul on Michael Dixon. His influence knows no bounds. And he got an elbow to the face there. That's going to hurt. Offensive foul number 24, Team Austria. No malicious intent from Mahal Basic. There's Mateo Solner, just 36 years of age. That hair might be greying with a few more tight games. Like this one. That's better than he was threatening to tear it out after the first quarter, but his team have responded so well. They really have. Space in the corner here for Boyset. The captain comes up with a shot, but he's left it a little short. And the last touch was off a Georgian player. So Austria have the possession. Every little bit now, it's going to be scrutinised. It's a tight game in the offing here. And the margins will be small. Mistakes could be costly. Moments of brilliance could be on which this game turns. Beckham with the foot there, you can see. Oh, Gogo Bitadze. Moratti comes penetrating in. Not his best shot though. And Austria cannot afford to lose their way from the field. Bokalishvili. It's a key man for them, Bokalishvili. But he hasn't had a fruitful night. He's been on the court 24 minutes. He's only made one shot count out of 8 attempts. But on this occasion he was fouled, and he'll go to the line here. Murat Bokalishvili averaging double digits per game coming into this clash. Every point, every free throw of paramount importance. The lead back up to 7, and Georgia lead in this fourth quarter. Danik, Mahal Basic, Klepajs for 3, knocks it down, and Georgia's lead is 4, and Klepajs has 23 points, and he can't miss. He's missed a clutch. Dixon. Austria came through the pre-qualifiers to make the World Cup qualifying groups. Came through with the Netherlands. Georgia, by virtue of playing in the last Eurobasket, goes straight into these World Cup qualifiers. Every point heartily cheered by the Georgian faithful, who made the long journey over from Tbilisi to Vienna. Bitadze made the first free throw count. He's increased the lead back up to 6, which is what it was at the start of this last quarter. Makes for a great atmosphere when you get a travelling band of supporters passionate as the Georgians. Here comes Mahal Basic. Ogun Sipe back out. Marathi for three to halve the lead. Can't make it. Now Dixon fights his way out of the front court skillfully. Beautiful that from Dixon. And the score and one. Goga Bitadze goes up to 9 points to go with his 6 rebounds. Well, he will go up to 9 points if he adds the free throw. But that's great play from the 18-year-old. He is such a hot prospect, Goga Bitadze. Off goes Enis Marathi for Austria. Everyone on the edge of their seat right now. And shot missed, and Iliasaurus demanding his team move back in defense quickly. Ogun Sipe for three. In and out, a little unlucky. Dixon could increase Georgia's lead back up to double digits here. And it's another foul. Austria at their foul limit, so Georgia are going to go to the line. And it was a pretty obvious one that for the officials to make. Danek will go to the bench. His second personal foul. It was good work by Merab Berishvili. Maybe a couple of hundred Georgian supporters in the crowd, but my goodness, they're making their presence felt as if there were tens of thousands of them. Listen to the noise every time a free throw's made. A shake of the head, though, from Matthias Zollner tells you that he is starting not to lose hope, but knows it's been a bit of a sucker punch the last minute or so. His team had cut the lead back to 4, but it's back up to 9 now. And Georgia will fancy their chances at defending this lead. Duvier, Danek, Klepaish. What are his options here? Comes in the lane. Oh, he's blocked off brilliantly. Powerful defense from Georgia. Bitadze the denial, and now here he is in the front court, but he can't finish the shot this time. Mahal Basic throws it away straight to Bokalishvili. Georgia here looking more composed than their opponents, and this could be a costly time for Austria. Just when they were on the comeback. Dixon. That's going to be goaltending. Mahal Basic with a denial, but the points go down as Dixon's and Georgia's.
Substitution team Austria back on the court, number 8, Enis Marathi.
And the lead is increased then to double digits, and Austria in trouble with less than 5 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. Enthralling basketball. This from Mahal Basic misses. And Georgia are getting a tighter and tighter grip on this game as they look to go 1 and 2. That's not a foul. Schreiner down on the floor, but he has to get back up. He's not getting anything from the officials. And another 2, this time from Dvalishvili. Is another nail in Austria's side. Georgia saving their best till last, I reckon. They started this game so well, and they're ending it just as strongly. And they are driving a sword through the Austrian shield.
One. Quick green, 5 directly to the screen. Someone with the ball. Bob, Bryce facing, Ennis facing, Tommy here. Try to go to the middle. Then you straight passing angle. Okay. Wenn nichts geht, hey, wenn nichts geht.
Hey, there is one number. Everybody else blue.
Well, it's been the Thomas Kleppais show for Austria. He's shooting over 70% from three-point range, but his team as a whole, just 32%. Kleppais has made 5 three-point shots. His team, just 8 in total, and that's perhaps the problem. There's not been much backup for him. And is this too much to come back from? Well, I think not. Austria have shown that they can go on a bit of a run. They have done at times in this game. They just need maybe a little bit of fortune. They need Georgia to drop off their levels a little. They'll be helped by Georgia accumulating fouls, that's for sure. They're up to 3 now. Here's Duvier. He's been so key for them, particularly on the boards. Schreiner calls for Mahal Basic, who sets the screen. Schreiner rims out again. He's 1 from 7 from downtown. It's not been Schreiner's night from beyond the arc, but he's been passing beautifully. 9 assists in total. Doesn't have the shooting to go with it today. He's second on efficiency, but quite a long way behind Kleppais. Shake of the head from Duvier. Georgia to cross the 70-point barrier. They've not done particularly well from the charity stripe, averaging a shade over 70% in this game. Both teams are. Iasiuras willingness to go through. He's missed both. And Selechov. And the nerves will stay for Georgia, even though they are in a pretty commanding position. 14-7 up in this quarter. Schreiner calls the play. Out to Duvier. Gets the shot away. It's going to be Georgia's ball. And they are closing in now. Austria need those three-point shots to go in. No, actually, it is going to be Austria's possession. Kleppais to Schreiner. It reversed roles there. Usually it's Schreiner playing the pass to Kleppais to shoot. Dixon, 20 points, 9 rebounds. It's been some performance from him, and he's leading on assists as well. But he's lost it. This time he's guilty for the turnover, but what a block! Huge play from Bitadze. The teenage sensation is having a night to remember. 8 points, 8 rebounds, and a big block there. Georgia just ran out of steam on offense there. They've been turned over. Duvier to try and give Austria some hope. Well, he didn't score, but he does get a foul. And with Georgia at their limit, Austria are going to go to the free throw line for 2. Well, they need a big moment here. Austria need to go on a bit of a run. Boca literally will go to the bench. Perhaps for the last time. And Patsatsia comes in for Georgia. You see the drums in the background. They've not been beaten in the last couple of minutes because Austria seem to have lost their way. Got a chance to get a couple back here. With Duvier at the foul line. And he's 2 from 2. anything can happen. That was Patsatsia. Seemed to be going all on his own. And then Bitadze draws the foul. It's sensible play. One to watch for the future if you are new to watching Georgian basketball. Goga Bitadze. He's a towering figure. He's enjoyed himself. So far tonight. Well, he's enjoyed himself everywhere apart from at the free throw line. Two from 6. But he does make that one. And every point does count. The lead up to 12. And with only 2.5 minutes left of the game, that will be significant. Schreiner. Austria have to get on with it. They've got to be quick. They're scoring. And they are. Morate with a teardrop. Gets it to drop. Berishvili. And here is Dixon. The crowd baying for a turnover. And Dixon kicks out Patsatsia. Berishvili. The passing is quick, but it's not accurate this time. And that's a really nice pass from Klepaj. And it's finished off on the glass by Morati. And that's more like it from Austria. A late run here. And they're getting themselves back in with a chance. 8 points the difference. And Georgia have called timeout. And it's more fast break points for Austria. It's been flavour of the month for them. And quick transition basketball has been too much for Dejan Suris' men. Let's see what he's got to say.
Hey guys, watch. Team out of bounds. 3 men here. Mike here, 3 men here. Girls, Mike receives the ball out. Okay, stagger. Go the ball inside. After.
Immediately we play hard. Immediately we play hard. Okay?
Well, it has been a good team effort from Austria for sure, but they have Rashid Mahal-Basic and Thomas Schreiner to thank for those impressive statistics on assists. 22 in total. Well, 9 of them have come from Schreiner's hands, 6 of them created by Mahal-Basic. Been a good game, this one. Patsatsia, and it's not done yet. As Georgia look to close out their first win of World Cup qualifying on the road to China. They needed this win, and they're closing in on it. There's not much time for Austria, which is why Dixon's taking his time. Patsatsia. Berishvili for 3. That would have been a real dagger, but would have been the key. It wasn't. And they're going to rely on three-point shooting. Klepaj. Duvier fancies his chances, but he's left it short. And it is going to be Georgian possession. And is it going to be close, but no cigar for Austria, you fear? Will they change up their tactics? They may need to foul quickly. Only 81 seconds left in total. Certainly going to go with a high press. Own them out of the backcourt easily. Patsatsia. Dixon, look at the space. Berishvili, Dixon, one more pass, and that's the foul by Duvier. The score's there. Chance for a three-point play to possibly drive a dagger through Austria's hopes. Great play from the man of the moment, Goga Bitadze. He's into double digits with that. 11 points, 8 rebounds, and a chance to go to 12 points from the line. Veteran play from an 18-year-old. Don't often say that. Bitadze, cool as you like. extends Georgia's lead out to 11 points with a minute remaining. Austria 62, Georgia 73. Timeout call this time by the Austrians.
Thomas, Bryce and Rashid. Okay? Tipper for Tommy. Tipper for Tommy. Thomas gonna screen for you, Bryce. Yep. Pass in the corner. Rashid, good screen. Good screen for Tommy for 3-point shot. If they switch the ball, we give it to Rashid. Okay?
You understand? Now open 3. Please. Make a pass. Cut it down.
So the coaches have had their say. Now it's time for the players to execute the plans. Moratti will inbound here, with Austria desperately needing some points in the bag to cut it down to size, give themselves a chance. Well, that's not what they needed. The plan hasn't been executed. There's an offensive foul here.
Fifth personal foul, number 52. Team Austria. Applaus für Bryce Duvier.
Bryce Duvier. The guilty party. And he's out of the game, Duvier. It's his 5th foul. Ogunsipe has to be careful too. He's on 4. Berishvili also on 4 personal fouls. Well, every score from here is a little nail in the coffin, you fear. Austria have lost their way a little in this 4th quarter. Credit to Georgia, they've hung on in there under severe pressure at times. Schreiner combining with Ogunsipe to get out of the backcourt. They will certainly have learned lessons from this, Austria. Schreiner lines up the 3 wide open, but he can't make it. And Georgia know they have the win that they so craved. And on the balance of things, certainly deserve as well. They will head into the home court leg, if you like, of the World Cup qualifiers, fueled by confidence. They played some good performances away in Serbia and Germany, but without getting a result on their side. But they've got it tonight as Schreiner comes in and draws the foul. So he'll go to the line.
Number 17, 2 shots, Team Austria.
Saps here, looking for a big finish here, Georgia. 3 on the clock. Dixon puts it up to put the exclamation mark on the win, and that's exactly what it is. Dixon ends with 23 points, but more importantly, Georgia earned their first win on the road to China. They have picked up victory in Vienna after composing a bit of a classic. They got the win. It came off the head, laughable really at the end here. Moratti ended up assisting Dixon. the big finish that Georgia deserved, really. They played so well in the first quarter and the final one, but it just gave Austria too much to do to make it up in the middle part of this contest. It's finished Austria 64, Georgia 78. And Georgia earn their first road win there as they go back to Tbilisi. The next 3 games are all at home, starting with Germany on Sunday night at the Sports Palace in the Georgian capital. The travelling band of support who've come over in their droves will be celebrating long into the night, I'm sure, in Vienna. Austria gave it everything. They really did. They can look forward to having Jakob Poeltl from the Toronto Raptors probably in their roster over the summer months, but for now they're licking their wounds. It's a 3rd defeat on the road to China for them, and it leaves them rather a lot to do in the second half of their qualifying campaign. They're staying on their home court next. Austria play host to Serbia. That too is on Sunday evening. For the news from Vienna and from the Multiversum Schweckert, it's finished Austria 64, Georgia 78. Both teams struggle a little bit from 3-point range. Georgia won the battle of the boards, if you like, picking up 10 offensive rebounds and 46 in total, 7 more than Austria. A couple of neat blocks from the Austrians, but it's Georgia who will be the happier with the stats, I suppose. Turnovers a lot lower for both teams than they have been getting used to in World Cup qualifying. Austria averaging over 20 turnovers a game before tonight, just 12 for them this evening is a much better statistic. Thomas Kleppich led the way for them with 23 points. Dixon will pretty much on everything, including turnovers, actually, but he will be, well, the player offered many congratulations, I should think. 23 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists. An incredible performance from him. And Georgia get the win by 14 points in the end. They started and ended this game very strongly. They played the more consistent basketball. Austria, impressive, but only in batches in that game. So this is what it means ahead of Germany and Serbia tonight, which is going to be happening. Georgia go up to 3rd place on 4 points with a 1-2 record. The two will meet again on the last game day of the World Cup qualifiers. And again, a lot to depend on that. Germany and Serbia, the favourites to go through. The top 3 make it out of the first phase of qualifying. I'll leave you with highlights of a gripping game of basketball. It's finished Austria 64, Georgia 78, and the visitors return home with 2 points.
First team foul, Team Austria. Berich.